In centering, we need to come in contact with what's above and below and all around us in order to determine where we are within all of the present moment sensations and physical realities. In order to feel, I'm placing my hands in various places along the body, beside the body, as I do some self-soothing shakeouts. And again, to determine my connection to my felt sense here of being present in the moment, connecting to the moment, and therefore centering upon my lived experience. What about you? What happens if you do some shakeouts or come to stillness? What is calling you? I'm feeling all the space between the feet to the top of the head. Navel drawing in, shifting my weight backwards while the center of my feet remain in touch with the floor, the pads, and the heels. And I'm turning to my left, your right. Anchoring in my natural breath. Bringing in a sense of pleasure here. How do we connect with the subtle agreements within the body to enjoy being here without avoiding? And I'm coming down now to the opposite side. So you might be ready to come to this opposite side, or you might want to start or stay where you started. Either way, I'm feeling the crown of my head lengthening away from my tailbone, weight in the center, and I'm checking out how can I create a sense of connection, because we tend to numb out if we stay fixated on one point for too long, one asserted experience at a time. We need to be able to be willing to go with the flow in order to connect with the possibilities of the moment. So I'm doing some smooth outs here in the name of self-soothing, cornerstone of TCY as we train in the 20-hour and 30-hour and 200-hour. I just stepped my right foot back, and we might bring that right knee down, we might stay up. Either way, this tilting of the pubis bone and tailbone down and forward is accessible whether the knee is on the ground or off the ground. You can always come back to this video, so if you're feeling at all like you want to do as much as you can, just know that these videos are here for as long as they are published at this site. I'm feeling into the space in my sternum, the chest bone, all the spaces in between the breastplate there as I lower down that knee and connect my palms to draw navel to spine and rotate so that my right elbow is to the outside of my left thigh. I'm feeling the support of leaning into that leg, and I'm also experimenting with how I might self-soothe by doing a mini connection with my neck, looking down and up, and now continuing that self-soothing, smoothing out the leg and shifting my weight back and finding what it's like to have a supple bend in the knee, tailbone shifting back as much as I comfortably can, and smoothing out the outside of that leg where the IT band is. I'm sitting on my right toes, so that's giving me a nice stretch in the bones in the feet, which will have a positive impact on opening up the bones in the leg and the low back. With both hands on the outside, fingertips connecting to the floor, or the right fingertips connecting to the left foot. I am again connecting with a very centering style of movement, which is bringing the right shoulder toward the left hip, and even self-soothing here with the left palm, open hand, connecting with my left hip, reminding my body that this is time to prosper, in the sense that the more we stay connected to ourselves, the less of a negative impact the outside world or distractions can have on ourselves. So this grounding in the thoracic spine, that cat-cow position, is really nice. You might continue to keep doing that, or you might change out the legs, bringing your right leg forward. My hand is on my sternum, and my heels of my hands just press the top of my thigh to feel that psoas, the connection of the top of the thigh to the hips, where we tend to hold a lot of feeling in the body and in the feeling self. Self-soothing along the hip line here, in the piriformis, in the outer thigh. Maybe your hands are closed hands. Maybe rather than open palm, they're closed hands to get a deeper self-soothing. Navel to spine, I'm twisting and placing my left elbow to the outside of my right knee as I sink forward as much as is comfortable and supports the pleasure-inducing aspect of connecting with our bodies. Neck rotations, which is really self-soothing and strengthening. Focusing my eyes there on the floor while I rotate my top elbow to get into the thoracic and shoulder blade area. Coming back to center, I'm shifting my weight back. I'm still choosing to be on my left toes. However, that left foot can be flat as well. Just resting here as much as is possible, either self-soothing as you see me doing, and or integrating a bit of a sternum, so chest lengthening forward, and then turning to the side with both hands or one hand to the outside of the right leg. As you can see, it's super determined by you how much we're really emphasizing building those little muscles, and how much we're emphasizing grounding, calming, central nervous system, positively triggering that parasympathetic branch of the body. Scientifically, we actually the body burns more calories when we're in parasympathetic. So if we can soothe ourselves to feel as natural as possible, even when there's the natural stresses of life, our bodies can keep functioning optimally. You see these kind of cat-cow-like rounding and coming forward with the chest and rounding there again. Can feel really, really supportive in that repetition is soothing. Shakeouts is very comforting as well. And here's another repetitious movement of expanding across the chest line, inhaling the arms up and out. That's how I experience this. However, natural breathing is the number one focus here. So naturally breathing first while getting the movement down, and then eventually one might want to experiment with what it's like to have inhales on the upward motions and exhales on the downward motions, and vice versa. There is no right or wrong, despite there being a lot of opinions about how to breathe. The idea is that we are meant, in TCY at least, to positively trigger that parasympathetic branch. So breathing is going to need to transpire in all different ways, depending on the human and the lived experience inside of everybody's own physical self. This can help get our right and left brain to talk as we do those repetitious movements there. And the core was being strengthened, and now connecting to that core, I'm twisting again, I'm returning. This idea of returning to a place we've been before in the practice. And we can do that in postures other than just downward facing dog. So you might have kept your right leg forward alongside your left as we have before, or you might have chosen to step back the right foot and focal point might be on the ground or looking up. If you're staying there, enjoy your natural breath. Otherwise, you might explore some tap outs along the legs, helping to create new felt associations with the base of the body that supports us, knowing that support can feel a lot of different ways. And we want to be liberated in life enough to experience being supported in ways that truly feel good for us. So let's bring in that sense of pleasure in the practice, always. This direction shifting, bowing can feel really centering when exploring it in relationship to each area of the room. Thank you for being here again for this quick 12-minute centering process. We hope to see you in the next program. InnerBeatYoga.com